This person said they went on a date with their boyfriend, and the display "My Wife" came up on his car's Bluetooth. Now, she's 28, he's 30. They met up for a date. They had breakfast, hit the road for a long drive. Everything's going great. They're listening to music, just vibing. He gets a phone call. And he was driving, so his phone was connected to the Bluetooth. And I could see he was calling, and the caller ID said, quote, "My wife." My stomach dropped. Now, we've been dating for 7 months, and nothing he did in that time gave any signs of him being married. He didn't pick up and let it go to voicemail, and my mood instantly shifted, and he asked, "Hey, what's wrong?" And I said, "Look, I saw who called." And I said, "You need to call them back right now." He was going on about how it was his brother, and I said, "That's BS," because I saw clear as day, it said right there on the screen, "My wife." So he goes on his phone and shows me his recent calls, and it says "Big Bro" at the time the call came through. The thing is that when the call came through initially and he let it go to voicemail, I was staring at it in disbelief, and then I looked away because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It is possible that he changed the contact name really quick. I told him again to call the number, and he doesn't show me, but he does call someone, and I can hear a male voice on the other line, and we start arguing. He insists he doesn't have a wife, he doesn't know how that happened, etc. We get to the spot. I try to put it past me, but I can't let it go. If he had refused to show me his phone at all, I would have Ubered home. We end up leaving earlier than planned, and he keeps trying to explain himself, but I can't forget the image of my wife calling. I told him I need some space and to think about what happened. Am I overreacting, and should this be a deal breaker?
Is it possible because you were looking at the screen, he had Billy Joel playing real low, and it was "My Life," and you just misread it?
I thought it was, yeah.
Is that possible?
It's a good question, yeah. Did she read it wrong?
I mean, what you should have done in the moment is insist on you holding the phone and calling back the number that said "Big Bro" and seeing who answered.
Okay,
if you saw clear as day on the screen, "My wife," and then all of a sudden it changed to "Big Bro," he changed it.
Yeah, my argument would be if he was driving, which it sounds like he was, and you looked away because you're all upset and you're not looking at him for a minute. If he's driving, to go in there and change a contact from "My wife" to "Big Bro,"
it'd be tough.
That would be really tough to do.
To not notice that?
Yeah.
How long were you looking away? Were you staring out at the trees when you were driving by because you were so mad?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, unless you covered up your face and buried it for 20 minutes, I can't imagine that he was able to do that.
That's ridiculous. He could do it in 30 seconds.
No way.
No.
Yes, he could.
I mean, I guess you could do it in 30 seconds, but that would be hard to not notice, in my opinion. If you're sitting in the passenger seat and he's driving and he's grabbing his phone, I don't know.
And if it said "Big Bro" and that's the number that you saw him hit to call back, and then a guy's on the other line, how would he coordinate all that? I think you are overreacting. Maybe you did see it. Who knows? That's weird. And look, it might be something that you pay attention to be like, okay, is he exhibiting other signs of the kind of guy that would have a wife? It's been 7 months you've been with him, and so far it doesn't sound like you have any belief. This is the first thing that makes you believe that he might have a wife.
If I was you, I would protect myself and hire a private investigator and figure out what the hell's going on with this guy. Because if you think he's got a wife, you do not need to be messing with that. That is a whole bag of problems that no single girl should be getting involved in.
I'm not at all trying to dismiss this, but is it possible you didn't read it correctly? Is that even a possibility?
Right.
Are you saying she can't read?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying sometimes people misread things. I do it all the time.
Mm-hmm. And Janie's saying, if you just go, public records would show if he's married or not. You can do some easy research here to see, is he truly married or not? Getting some information. And that would probably be the best thing to do. For you to break up with him over you thought you saw "My wife" on his Bluetooth for a phone, and then he tried to demonstrate to you that it was just his brother and it wasn't.
And how long have they been together?
7 months.
If I'm at all thinking about a private investigator for a 7-month relationship, I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work out.
I'd simply just look it up. I wouldn't break up. I would just think that you probably saw it wrong. But keep an eye out for him doing something that might mean he has a wife.
Well, the one thing you're leaving out in the email is that how long did you stare out the window? Because to go into
she said she looked away.
To go into your contacts.
Right.
How long would that take? If you're so slick, could you do...
And you're doing it with one hand because you're driving.
Exactly. Or are you doing that knee thing while you're driving on? But
you would notice that.
You would notice that.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I don't think it's a thing. I think you're overreacting. I would chill. Just my thought.
I just changed your contact to dummy. And look, now all of a sudden you're Dummy Pennington.
And guess what? I noticed every move because you can't do anything silent.
But it took me... less than 15 seconds.
I would have noticed it. I'm like, what is this witch doing?
And you did it with one hand?
I did.
Okay.
And she wasn't looking at the road. She just did it, but we just crashed into a pillar.
Yeah. I kind of like the way that rolls off the tongue. Dummy Pennington.
I don't like it. I'm not going to lie.
You're not a fan of that?
No,
yeah.
I'm not. I think it's quite insulting.
Yes. Now, we discussed one way you can find out if somebody's married is just look it up public records, but apparently you do need to know the county and state in which they were married. So that could be something tricky if he got married to somebody somewhere else.
So if he got married somewhere in Orlando, and you're living in Palm Beach County.
Yeah, you have to look every county up? That seems like a big job.
If I'm doing that, I'm so breaking up with this person. That is way too much time.
That just goes to show you that, it might not be that easy just to look that up. But the other thing that I find odd about that is that he would store his wife's name as my wife. I mean, how many people would just put somebody in their phone as my wife?
Some people would, though.
I'm in Panda's phone as wifey.
It is wifey.
I mean, just think of all the people on the planet. You mean to tell me you don't think some people put my wife in their phone? Of course they do.
Yeah, I just wondered if that was standard, if that was kind of the normal thing that they would do. How do you have Panda in your phone, Virginia?
He is Panda Sinicki.
Okay, so he's Panda Sinicki.
Yeah.
All right. And for you, Denny's, what do you have your wife in your phone as?
So I have it under waifu, which is the Japanese word for wife.
Aww.
Oh, that's cute.
It's under Jen, waifu.
And Bird, now that you got a girl in the game, is she by name or a nickname like you typically like to do?
She's in my phone as Honeyface.
Whoa.
Oh, my gosh.
Honeyface.
Honeyface.
Wow.
Well, I did not see that coming.
So sweet, so sticky.
Oh, okay. Let's tone it down.
Honeyface.
Oh, Honeyface.
Wow. They say here that 31% of people use affectionate nicknames for their significant other in their phone contacts. Bird, clearly, Mr. Honeyface is in that grouping.
So sticky.
Stop saying that.
So sticky.
You can say so sweet. So sticky sounds.
Maybe it's both.
69% of people prefer to keep it simple and they just use their partner's regular name. That's the more popular way. So, yeah, 31%, that is the odds of him putting my wife or anything other than just her name.
Yours says Kim
phone.
Ralston, doesn't it?
Of course it does.
Yeah, I know.
So boring.
So boring.
It
Of course it does.
The queen or the Mexican queen.
This man will never come with no honey face.
Well, I always think about...
Nothing about him is sticky.
Imagine if I'm in traffic, I've been run over, I've lost a leg, I'm laying there like, we need to call... Your wife be like, oh, yeah. And they're trying to find it. Maybe I'm unconscious. They'd be like, okay, let's look. His name's Ralston. Let's see if we can find another Ralston in here. They're going to get to it. I mean, if I were down and out and unconscious and somebody needed to make an emergency call that had just found my phone, I mean, they're not going to be able to find, like, my wife or Honeyface.
Imagine me like, call my girlfriend Honeyface. We can get over. Okay, call my best friend Denny's. The restaurant? You want to call a restaurant?
Your best friend's at Denny's? No, he is Denny's. What?
We lost him. He's dead.
Yeah. And another comment said, this girl is drama. It's a sign from God that he needs to break up with her. Okay.
Oh, wow.
They're kind of flipping the script. But, yeah, right now, a majority of people would say this is a breakup. We're at 60% say, yes, they are breaking up with the my wife guy simply because that flashed up on his Bluetooth. Wow.
My brain is going to keep thinking about it, though, and I want answers. And yeah, I'm okay with breaking up with him, but I really do want to know for these past 7 months, has he been lying to me and he's married the whole time? And maybe I'll let his wife know what he's been up to.
Okay.
She's going to get in the bushes.
In the bushes.
This is how we do. It's the KVJ Show.